Welcome back everyone, it's me Ajo Productions and welcome to my advanced tutorial. So keep in mind that this is the advanced tutorial and there will be some stuff covered here that you might not know, so be sure to check out the basic tutorial first, which I will link right here. Alright, so let's begin. So the first thing I will teach you is how to make basically sea war slides. So to make these, you're gonna have to go to the sea and borders layer instead of the war slides layer, because that's where you're gonna be making the changes for the sea. Alright, so now we're gonna make a color for the sea territory. So for this one, you're gonna make a color that's kind of light and also kind of grayish. So here's what I'm doing right now. I'm making sort of a pale red color. So remember again that you need to be on the sea and borders layer, which is the top layer. So now we're just going to begin to trace or draw the borders of the sea territory, like what I'm doing here. I'm just making a line that separates the one side's sea territory from the other sides. And when you reach this land, you can just connect it to the border here. So now we're going to want to fill the actual territory. So we're going to select this color picker tool here and we're going to fill it, but sometimes the threshold is too high. So what you want to do is you just want to lower the threshold right there, and there you go. So sometimes there will be these off colored pixels, so you just have to fill those manually with the brush tool. And now that the sea territory for one side is done, we're going to make the sea territory for the other side. So we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to make a sort of pale color, and here we go. So now we have the full colored sea or naval territory. So now we want to actually animate the sea territory. So let's start by going on the sea and borders layer again, and it's pretty simple actually. You just have to brush it like what you're doing with the actual war slides, but the only difference is that there's not really any war slides in the sea. So as you can see what I'm doing right here, I'm just drawing it and filling it manually by using the brush tool. So after a few frames, your animation should be done, and for me it looks like this. So it's actually quite simple. So now we're going to make basically kind of like a landing. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna have to make the sea territory touch the actual land. So what I'm doing right here, you're just gonna draw like two lines that border it, and then you're gonna fill it, and then you're also gonna have to fix the pixels manually like this, and there you go. So for the actual landing, you're just gonna have to do normal war slides, which I already told you in the basic tutorial. So now I'm gonna tell you how to make a third country joining the war. So this is actually very simple. You're just gonna select a color. You can make it green, yellow, even purple, but for this one I'm gonna make it yellow. So you're just gonna color the land, and if you need to draw any borders, then you can draw new borders, which I also already taught you in the basic tutorial. So you can just follow what I'm doing right here. And for the sea territory, you can do the thing that I already told you before. You just go back to the sea and borders layer, and then you begin to draw the sea territories yourself. So now I'm gonna tell you how to make border effects. So as you can see right here, we just have basic borders, and you might want to make it look better. So what you can do right here is you can go back to the layers layer, and here you can go to the sea and borders layer, and you can click on the right corner here to settings, and here we have many different options, but the one we're gonna do is the glow option. So as you can see here, glow, and we can turn it on. So when you turn it on, you will have this sort of light blue glow, but obviously we do not want that, so we can change the color. So right here I'm changing it to black, and there's actually different settings right here like size, alpha, and hardness, but you can experiment with these yourself. So for now I'm just editing these myself to look the way that I want it to look like. And now that should be done. As you can see here, we have these beautiful border effects. And by the way, if you want to edit the background color, for example this one is white, and for example you want to edit it, you can just hold here, and then you can click color, and then you can pick the color that you want. For me, I'm gonna make a sort of yellowish pale color. And there we go. Now we have a brand new and better looking map. Next up, we're going to be making the info bar. So we're just going to make a new layer for it, and basically the info bar will be a place where you can put a lot of information. For example, you can put different country names, you can put their colors, and you can even put like events or day counters. So right now we're going to make the info bar. We're going to select this brush tool and we're going to use the ruler tool. So because we want to make it a vertical line, instead of actually using the straight line, here's a tip. Because if we use the straight line, then usually that vertical line will not be straight. So what I like to do is I like to use the square ruler or the rectangular ruler, and then I just use the vertical edge of it to make the info bar. So you can just follow what I'm doing right here. I'm using this square ruler and I'm just tracing the edge of it. And now that it's done, we're just going to fill it with the white color. And now we're actually going to add the information on the info bar. So what I like to do is I just like to create a new layer for those extra information. But sometimes you can create a new layer by using ads if you're not on the premium version. But if you cannot create a new layer, then you can just simply make it in the info bar, like what I'm doing right here. So I'm just going to select a font and we can add the date right now. So now that the date is done, I'm going to show you how to make the different color palettes for the info bar. So right now I'm just going to begin by drawing some small squares where we can fill the color later on. And you can actually copy these small squares by selecting this lasso tool, and you can just drag over the small square and then you can click copy up in the top bar, and then you click paste, and then it should make a copy of that, and you can just drag it to the side of it. And now we can just start to fill those squares, and I'm also going to be adding a text for it. And that's it for the info bar. If you want to copy or add a new color palette, then you can just copy and paste using the lasso tool. And if you want to change the date, it's very simple. You just add a new frame, you delete, or you can color in again the old date and you can add the new date, like what I'm doing right here. And if you want to make it look cleaner, then you can only erase a part of the date and you can just replace it with a new one, so it will look less messy. Alright, and now I'm going to show you how to make different units or divisions. So let's just make a new layer. And remember, if you cannot make a new layer, then you can just do it on the info bar layer. But for this video, I'm going to make a new layer. So let's just call it the units layer. And now to add the actual units, we're going to be adding an image. So for here, I'm going to be adding the flag, but it's up to you. You can even add like division symbols. So we're just going to fit it in. You can enlarge it, you can shrink it however you want. So right now I'm just fitting it in. So if you want to copy it, then you can just do the same thing as last time. You just use the lasso tool, select it, you copy, and then you paste. And now I'm also going to be adding the units for the other side. And now if you want to move the units, it's actually very simple. You just select the lasso tool, you select it, and then you just move it however you want. If you want to move multiple units at the same time, then you can select multiple units and you can just move them like this. So now you can see the units are moving, and that's basically it. And now for the final part, I will be telling you how to add music in your videos. So you can just click this music button in the bottom left corner, and you can just add audio in the top right here. And there's different options such as audio library, audio recorder, and add your own audio, but I suggest adding your own audio. So here we have the audio. You can trim it and crop it however you want, but I'm gonna add the full song and we just click accept here. And now we have our audio. For me, I'm just going to be adding a simple background music to my video. And if you want to split the audio, for example, you can just click this button and then it will split the audio. And there we go. And now for the final part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to export your animation. So just hold the tutorial, this project, and then we're going to click share, and then you're going to click make movie, and then that's it. And now after you click this button, your project should export, and now you can save it or you can share it to someone. So thank you for watching my tutorial, everyone. See you next time, and if you want to watch the basic tutorial, click here. But for now, goodbye.